going on, guys? This is the Starbound Hero talking to you today about CTG, otherwise known as Capture the Gem. It is what Odyssey Games came up with as their version of Capture the Flag in Terraria. Now, don't confuse Capture the Flag with Capture the Gem, as they have similarities. There are even more differences between the two. Now, the way Capture the Gem works is you have equal teams on either side, be them 2 or 3 people on each team, 4 people on each team. Sometimes we've seen 5 people on each team, which is standard. The game is played where you get a prep time, where basically your team has usually between 10 and 30 minutes where they'll be able to prep for defenses and do all sorts of other things, like go caving and go look for items underground and go build their gear and their armor in that 20 to 30 minute time span, or 10 minutes sometimes, or even 15. So, moving on. Capture the Gem, extremely competitive, surprisingly. When I first played Capture the Gem, I thought it would just be kind of a casual game, but it does get quite competitive, and being that the game does not require too many resources on the computer, it does run fairly smoothly. So supposedly, if someone's internet connection is all in well. So basically, what we're doing right now is we're gathering wood and stone and other ore so that we can make our bows and arrows. Bows and arrows in this game are essential. Without them, you will lose. Basically, we got 2 guys, 3 guys farming wood and arrows, and one guy's going to build the fences, another guy's going to go caving, and he's going to be looking for, basically, for the team to get all sorts of things, like maybe hearts or grenades if the rules allow you to play with grenades. Other sorts of things, like maybe a lucky horseshoe, or any kind of item that would benefit. Each team, everybody who's on the team is going to be playing a medium core character, meaning every time they die, they're going to lose all of their gear. And this is where the competitiveness comes in. A death usually results in a myriad of different things. It can sometimes result in a push. It can sometimes result in a loss. Sometimes it can even result in a win, whereas someone will be focusing so hard to get one kill, they'll end up dying. So you can imagine that this game actually does require quite a bit of strategy. Basically, the way that the game is played is on each side, the bases for each team, which is red and blue in this case, is going to be set apart equally in distance from the center spawn of the map. And in each base there is a gem which is hidden within a chest. And as you can see in this picture right here, there is a golden chest. Now you see, we've gone ahead and we have taken wood and we've surrounded the chest with it. Basically, that's a strategy to make it so that capturing the gem, getting inside the chest, takes longer, basically. So basically what you do is you surround the gem, you surround the gem, aka the chest, with things like glass, dirt, wood, stone, whatever it is that you may want to surround it with, and then they literally have to dig to the chest to get to it. Now, most rules prevent you from moving the chest, and most rules also prevent you from breaking anything that has anything to do with the original bases that you started the game with. So, for instance, say you want to build a door, or you want to change something within the base, more often than not, they're going to say, no, you cannot do that. So right now what you can see is I'm actually building a fairly tall tower. That's to prevent being skybridged. Right now you see me cutting slits in the ground. This is a defense of mine that I will go ahead and I will make a tutorial video on, that I personally like, designed specifically for sand, where well, I'll get into it later. Okay, right now, this is the most important part of the game, is the prep phase. If you do not prepare correctly during this phase, more often than not, you will die. Things like stocking up on arrows and bows, building your proper defenses, caving properly, getting all the resources you need to successfully defend and successfully make a proper push. I did say earlier that bows and arrows are extremely important, whereas if you were to die in game while you're defending your base and you don't have backup bows and arrows in a chest somewhere inside your base, you're going to lose. And that's plain and simple. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will lose the game. So right now my team is stocking up on their bows and their arrows, and they're going to try and make it so that we have enough backup if for some reason we are to die. This is also another technique right here, open door with sand on top of it. I like to build basically a bowl type structure underneath my defense so that my enemies cannot get out, much like a trap, and that's what I was doing right there. Now I'm going to farm more sand. In all honesty, there's 2 items that or 3 items you need in Capture the Gem. It's sand, bows, and arrows, and that's pretty much it. You don't really need too much of anything else. Obviously the gem, but as far as everything else goes, those are the most essential pieces to winning a Capture the Gem match, which we actually don't do in this one, because I felt like I was the only one defending, but I made a mistake and I flawed my defense, which I will explain later in my sand trap tutorial video that I'm going to make. So right now, you'll see me make multiple bows, and I'm going to place them in this chest. And it's extremely important that we have this, as I was saying earlier. If you don't have backups, you're pretty much running around with a pickaxe trying to kill somebody. And basically that's it. Typical rules are you get between 10 and 30 minutes prep time. You're not allowed to destroy the base. A lot of matches will prevent you from using bombs and explosives and things like that. Another rule that is also part of this particular game mode is that it is stayed at noon, which you can see right there. They just changed the time to noon. What else? No destruction of original bases. Once you get the gem, you're not allowed to hide too far underground or too far above ground. Should you retrieve the gem from someone who has stolen it from you, you must immediately return it back to your base. Any procrastination on that, and well, that's against the rules. Obviously, there's not too much of a way to enforce them, as most Capture the Gem maps do not use T-Shock, as it is too buggy. So basically, it's like a slap on the wrist. It's frowned upon. It's like counting cards. Don't do it. So moving on. What else? What have I missed? This. Let me think about it for a minute. Oh, another rule. You must always set your spawn once you get to your base. It is extremely important. Not setting your spawn is against the rules. It's also slightly not in favor of you, and I always forget this. In fact, I'm pretty sure in this match I forgot to set my spawn. Terrible way to play. You always spawn back at the middle of the map with nothing. It's pretty embarrassing too. Everyone's like, haha, you didn't set a spawn, blah blah blah. A lot of times they'll tell you turn off your PvP, go set your spawn, and then re-enable it. It's not like you'd be able to do anything if your PvP was enabled anyway, simply because you don't have anything to attack with in the first place other than your pickaxe, which does not do hardly anything. What else? that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is really according to whoever is hosting the server. Now there is Odyssey Games rules and Psi Syndicate rules, which the Psi Syndicate rules I don't really like. Their method of the prep time is first day. First day is prep time. After the first night, you're allowed to attack. They also allow traps such as wire with active blocks and explosives and things like that, which I don't particularly agree. I don't agree with it. I think it takes away from the game, but I've only played it a couple times. I'm sure that I could probably grow into it and appreciate it a little bit more if I were to, spend a little bit more time playing it. What else do they do? Oh, another rule is once you get the gem, you have to announce that you actually have the gem. Okay, so there I dropped my sand wall. He's probably stuck down there. He can't get out. Yeah, he's stuck down there. I got a guy down there who's fixing to fight him. I missed with my sand. Pretty embarrassing. And this is where my flaw in my trap happened. Right here, he was able to jump. I needed to make that wall bigger so that he couldn't jump over and onto our base. My team's pretty much just going out there one by one, dying, and I'm about to do the same. Yep. So we pretty much lose this match. I spawned at the middle. Terrible. Awful. And the rest is pretty embarrassing as far as it goes. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just put a song on because this is quite an embarrassing moment in my Terraria capture the gem career.
I let it fall, my heart, and as it fell, you rose to claim it. It was dark, and I was over, until you kissed my lips and you saved me. My hands, they're strong, but my knees will fall to you.